Hey guys, this is Jeff Spain, owner and instructor at Graves Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm here with my friend Dante Bard. Dante and I have been working on a project together, more so Dante than myself. If you're a small business owner in the Lebanon, Tennessee area, this might interest you. He's probably spent, what would you say, a month or so?
Yeah, it's been about a month.
About a month on the following piece. Okay, we're going to back up a little bit so you guys can see it. This is all original work by Dante.
Customized completely for Jeff.
Yes, customized for my business. Also, if you're a small business owner in Lebanon and you're looking to really make your business pop, this is the guy you need to talk to, Mr. Dante Bard.
So we're trying to get a collection of murals in Lebanon. We got the barbershop. We got this. Smoke Busters 2 is next. Vapor sections. Those guys are awesome. So we're really trying to not only support small business in Lebanon, but also cultivate an art culture in Lebanon too.
Welcome to the Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks podcast. I'm James Anthony Williams, your co-host, and this is your host, Jeffrey F. Spain Jr.
He's the greatest. We love him. Yay.
Really
But it's
back,
not
really
about
back.
me. Okay? It's about our guest. And, he's a very special man. He's helped me a lot with my business. And I want to kind of put him out there because I feel like his skill set is going unrecognized in the area. And we need to start promoting this man because he's a talented individual. So we were talking about this before we even started. James's fresh new haircut.
Hey, wait a minute. This isn't new.
This isn't new.
This
So
is
it
normal.
This is the same length. Now, is it a? Did you get a perm? Is that what it
Yeah.
was? Oh, okay.
I'm African American. My hair doesn't grow like this,
Oh,
Jeff.
snap, man.
Shoot.
That is nice hair, dude.
Thank
though,
you.
man.
It's all mine too.
Yeah.
It's the same hair. All I did was she re-permed it.
So
and
is it like just for men?
washed
Is
it.
that what you take? Like just
What?
for men,
It's-
or like?
it's a black people
do you
perm.
take you don't get any like
It
special
is.
hair growing?
No.
No, Jeff, if you really
implants.
knew what he had to go through to get his hair like that, you would you would gain some respect for the man.
It takes about an hour and a half.
It's not fun.
I'm just
And it
jealous,
burns.
though. Yeah.
Burns. You gotta sit there and deal with it. Yeah, but this is what it normally looks like. It's just that whenever I go to sleep, I can't do this in the morning, so I just comb it all back and then put on a do-rag and get up the next day and just comb it back again. This is for party. The other one's for business.
The other one's for business.
Nice.
So tell us about, like, when did you know art was your passion? Like, how old were you when you were like, okay, this is my jam. Like, this is what I'm going to be pursuing.
So that was one of those born things. It's I almost put the cart before the horse because growing up, I knew I wanted to do art, but all the other things about art, that wasn't. I didn't really focus on that. I just focus on the art they're creating, and when I should have been paying attention while I was younger, I wasn't until I got a little older and then realized all about the process it takes to, for me anyway, I know there's other artists out there like it, but like we were talking about before the show, that creative mind and that business mind are not synonymous. And you have to go through a process. I remember, 2016, I was in the Periscope program with the Arts Business Council of Greater Nashville. And I was nominated. I was like, yeah. And I get in there and I'm like, man, whatever this is going to be easy because it has to do with art. No. It was business. They're sitting there talking about if a painted tube costs X and you can produce how many paintings with one. Don't nobody think like that, man.
I need enough until I'm done.
Exactly. Like, I might want you to feel the painting, so I put half the tube on there. How about that? It depends on how I feel. That's the thing. Feel, for me anyway. So
Now, is it a leftist mindset that's creative, or is it the right side?
the left is logical, the right is creative.
So the right's creative. So being a right-minded person, it's almost like a childlike wonder, thinking that you can just do what you love, do your passion, and the business side it'll work itself out. You know,
That's what happened to TLC. Yeah, exactly. And like, no, you got to. It's a catch-22. I was told by Stephanie Pruitt. She's a poet, a local poet. And she was the one that was like, it's almost by the time you get to the point where you can get like a manager or something, you've already had to learn how to do it yourself. So it's almost like worthless by that point you get there. And you find somebody that you can trust. And because I've heard horror stories about managers and taking off with money and all that stuff. I didn't get serious in the art scene, like commercially, until my 30s. So, and I'm 37, so this past decade has been all learning for me. Like I said, when I should have been paying attention, I wasn't. And so, yeah, learning what sells, how it sells, who it sells to, the other people that are in your genre, I guess you could say, of art, other artists that do the same thing you do, you know, knowing them, respecting them, working with them. It was a lot of that, you know.
I think, you know, I'm trying to think of like my experience with you, and I feel like you learned the business side pretty well, because when you did the dragon for us, or when we talked about you doing the dragon, you laid it out clear and cut through. Now, I know you told me some stories about business owners that you'd worked with in the past who were unfamiliar with the creative process, right, to come up with a logo for somebody or to make a piece of artwork. And when somebody wants you to change it, like what all that entails, because, you know, if you make something for somebody and they want to change things about it, there's limitations there, you know, and I figured like that's something you could kind of enlighten people on if they're looking to buy art from somebody, like what they can expect.
Okay, so one of the main things, if you're looking to purchase art, custom art, you know, I can produce whatever it is that's in your head, as long as you have a coherent idea. I can't, you know, I can't work with scrambled eggs, you know. But yeah, if you're looking to purchase art, know what it is that you want, and understand that the person that you're hiring to create art for you is not a photocopy machine. It's not a Xerox, because it's a process. One draft is a process. 2 drafts is a process. Well, we'll use Jeff for example. Jeff had an idea. He had a coherent idea. I did a draft. He wanted things changed. We refined it. Jeff didn't come to me and say, I want a dragon, and then saw the dragon and then decided he didn't like what the dragon. Well, now I want a phoenix. Well, now I want a chimera. No, let's go back to the dragon. That fits. No, see, that's 4 different jobs.
Yeah.
That's 4 different jobs. Now, you want 4 different versions of a dragon? That's 1 job. You see what I'm saying? So
know what you want. Know what you want going into it.
Your artist is not a magical picture machine that is going to charge you one price to draw whatever you want in as many. I mean, some of them do, but that's all the ones I've known.
It's bad business.
Well, yeah, it's like, you know, it's like going to the store and not knowing what you want. What are you doing in the store, man? You going grocery shopping? You don't know what you're gonna get. You're supposed to know what you. At least that's how I function. You know, I could be
pushing
weird.
the cart around the store and ain't got nothing in the basket.
If you're paying somebody else to do your logo, to do some artwork for you, you can't be too picky. Otherwise, you need to just do it yourself.
Okay, let's put it to you like this. This will help clarify things. I never put it to you like this because I never had to. But
Here we go.
you have a triangle. On each peak of the triangle, you have price, speed, and quality. When you affect one, it's going to affect the other 2. Yeah. So if you want speed and quality, it's going to affect that price. If you want quality, it's going to affect the speed and the price, such on and so forth. Yeah. One's going to affect the other. So, keep that in mind. If you do want an artist to produce you 5 different pictures with 5 different drafts and all of them be finalized pictures, because you can't, very seldom do I draw a picture and that's the final product. It takes drafts. You know what I'm saying? So you don't go fishing with your artist. Know what you want. Have a coherent idea and have it already halfway refined. So all they got to do is put it on paper. You know what I'm saying? Because if you want to get into charging for ideas, I believe that gets into intellectual property, which I don't know the most about. I just know the basics. But when you start talking about creating original ideas, that's a whole different thing. So.
Yeah, I know. I've ran into a couple tattoo artists that kind of fall in that same category of, I'll tweak it a little bit this way and that way, but before they even start the initial draft, they want to know, like, hey, how solid are you on this particular idea?
Yeah, there's, especially with tattoo artists. I was actually going to bring up tattoo artists next because they go through a lot of that.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, the tattoo artists I know, they've got it structured where, you come in, if you're coming in to set an appointment, you pay a deposit, you know what I'm saying? So that way, all that time spent and drawing all those drafts, all that time with tracing paper and a light board isn't going to waste when you can't see nothing afterwards and everything like that. But yeah, so my personal journey has just been figuring out how to do that with what I do. As far as pricing, payment, and everything, because like Jeff said, when I came to him, I had everything laid out. Well, that was trial and error. That wasn't because it's like I went to school and learned how to do business.
But you're a professional. Like you definitely know how to handle meeting with a client and walking them through the process, because I was naive and completely new. But I felt like I trusted you because you were very, very direct. And again, I think it was because you had told, we had kind of opened up and became friendly after a few minutes, and you were telling me about some of the experiences you had. And so, like, being somebody who is also trying to do something on their own, and like selling a talent, and trying to teach other people how to, produce this talent themselves. It's not easy when you're teaching somebody who has no idea about the industry,
No, it's very true. That is very true. When I first met with you, Jeff, I had learned that you're not going to win them all. You go in there, you be very direct, you let them know what you offer, what you don't offer, and because you get a lot of people that are trying to play you.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people that will waste your time, and you get a lot of people that will steal from you. And I'm not just talking about one incident. I'm talking about I've had work stolen from me on multiple incidents because I was naive and I didn't realize I was doing. So, and I was fresh out of the Periscope program, which did a lot to change my mind, because even though it was a shock to the system, they crammed so much information in 6 weeks that it literally took me years to be like, over the years, I'm like, okay, I see what they're saying. Okay, I see what they're saying now. Okay, I see what they're saying now.
Dude, I get that frustration because every time I talk to, my professor Jeremy, he's the affiliation owner, right? So he's head of all of these schools that are open, the Profectus Jiu-Jitsu schools, and him being able to balance all of that blows my mind. And then, me trying to learn how to fucking use Instagram stories. He's like, all right, when you post pictures, we got to have like a design here. But he took social media marketing, like, lessons from like people who have hundreds of thousands of organic followers, So it's like, I know what he has to say holds some merit. But then once you figure something out, they change the system. So it's like being able to market yourself on social media requires constant education and constant evolution.
I think it's partly, it depends on, well, I think it's difficult more so for the person that's doing it, depending on what your thing is. In this example, if it's art, like you said earlier, you're using one side of your brain that's geared towards that creativity. And if you interpret the social media aspect as work or, I guess, business, you want to use that other side of your brain that you're kind of alienating. So it kind of, you drive away the desire to want to do it, I guess.
Well, I guess my point is, you have to make it something you enjoy. If it's like, if you have a way that you like to post to social media, then do it that way. And if you find that you want to make little tweaks based on the suggestions people have given you, that's on you to decide. But there's proven success out there that you can see.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have to, weigh in your head, like, what's worth changing, what isn't, and keeping it something that's true to yourself first and foremost.
Or hire a teenager.
Or hire a teenager, yeah.
Like you said, it's a double-edged sword. Because me personally, I like Instagram, but I like Instagram for research, especially like calligraphy. I've been into calligraphy recently, and I just love it. I can't get enough. But
so I think calligraphy and graffiti is the same thing, isn't it?
I mean, they're
different?
They're actually,
I know graffiti's on a wall.
From what I can
I think
tell,
it's
they're actually closely related.
They are pretty,
Really?
right?
Yeah, because at least, I guess from a technical aspect, I would say they are, because the same strokes you use in graffiti or in calligraphy, not necessarily any specific font type, but the strokes you use are actually very similar to the strokes used in pieces and in hand styles. I noticed that while I was working on your logo. It's just, it's all in the stroke, but that 45-degree angle chisel tip line, yeah, it can be used. They're very closely related. Like, and for that matter, calligraphy doesn't just apply from. You gotta keep in mind, everything I say is based on my experience. I'm not stating common, because I don't want somebody out there to hear me be like, "Oh, you're so full of it." This is just based on my experience and what I've been able to ascertain. But just like a lot of calligraphy I've seen done in Arabic is gorgeous. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, Arabic does look pretty cool on paper.
yeah.
But then when you
Or
like
parchment, whatever they write it on.
yeah. It's crazy. And then some
Oh,
of it
God.
is just lines and circles. I mean, there's a lot of different types of, from I've seen a lot of different expressions of calligraphy. My buddy Troy Duff, he's another local natural artist. He has his own style of calligraphy, and it's pretty dope, Should look him up if you want to see that. But he's doing a lot of interior murals, which is something I've wanted to get into, like residential interior murals in people's houses and stuff like that.
Like somebody's got some badass dragon in their living room or something.
No, it's more like abstract art.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing with any kind of centralized like subject matter or anything. It's just lines and circles and dots and everything. It's just the way they're arranged.
Can we pull it up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at it. So this looks like it's in the course of a day. No.
This is at least one day, right?
I think he can knock it out in one day.
Yeah, I mean,
this is the dude that I worked with the Bridging Two Rivers project on for Metro Arts. I worked with him. He did one side of the bridge and I did the other.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's just,
No, this ain't. I think this is a different one.
I could tell you, like, from an editing standpoint, right? Like, when I go back and I review the content from the cameras after recording this show, it does take days to really piece together, because I might chop it up a little bit, but then I'll go through another layer of detail, right, in the editing with each frame. And then, like, I'll decide if I want to go through an extra layer. And I guess it's the same thing, right? Because, I mean, he puts a base, and then it's, how much detail do you want to get? And there is a point, though, I think, right, with murals, murals especially, that there's too much detail, right? Isn't there a point, right, with visual art where you can get too detailed, or no? You would say that's like a never-ending.
Well, I mean, I've been chastised for hyper-focusing, but, I mean, too much detail. What's that?
Oh, okay. Enough said. I like this, though.
But yeah, that's that. He what was I gonna say? Okay, so you see the little lines and dots he's got on the inside, how they create patterns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is like a lot of where his, I think where it came from. That's just what I noticed.
Yeah.
And where is this exactly? I don't know what he's.
East Nashville.
East Nashville.
This is the Jets Pizza.
Like, this is awesome, man.
See, like, this would be cool for you, Dante, if you do more work in the future, outside or inside.
Right now,
put a little camera on you working the whole time. Do a little
Yeah.
time lapse video, because that's like a really. That's always going to be quality. Like, this is always going to be very satisfying for people to watch. Somebody, working on something for day.
yeah.
Or just creating
This looks like one
stuff.
day.
No, this is like 3. He's up to 3 days.
Oh,
now.
it did say 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention to that.
Yeah, initially I was looking at. He was making a lot of ground starting out, and then I was trying to find something to tell what time of day it was, and I saw the shadow on the ladder. And
Yeah, and if you really, really want to check out my artwork, you can find me on Facebook under Dante Bard. My art page is called, I think I changed the name to Bard Artworks. You can just look it up under Bard Artworks. I mean, it rhymes. It's good.
Well, your Instagram handle is
Alcazad.
Alcazad.
Yeah.
you're gonna spell that. Well, Jeff's gonna put it on.
I'll have it written up
Yeah,
there.
He'll put it on the screen.
That's the other way you can find me on the internet, because I've looked. Nobody else has that name. If you can remember it, you'll never forget it. But yeah, Alcazad is my handle on Instagram, and I've got
People can direct message you there if they want want work done.
Yeah. I'm out there. I'm for hire right now. I'm taking commissions. Logos, murals, illustrations, character development, pretty much anything I can lay out. CD covers, brochures, menus, whatever. If it can be done digitally, I can do it.
Very cool.
Nice.
I had a little slump there for a couple years. I actually hadn't produced. Jeff was the first project I've done in about 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a little.
The Jiu-Jitsu by the train tracks that we just got, which I think is super dope, man. I like the way you. Let's see if I could pull that up here. It's in my.
Yeah,
my
I
mail.
was hoping you'd pull it up. I wanted to ask a couple questions about it. I'm just curious of what's your process whenever, what did Jeff come to you and say, and how did you get to this? Because this is dope, by the way. I love the colors.
Thank you. All Jeff said is, this is my second time working with Jeff, and Jeff is more than a client. He's a buddy. You know what I'm saying? So it was more of a, hey, I just want you to create me something. And like I said, I've been into calligraphy here recently, and I was like, well, let's go with let's just go with some crazy letters, basically. I just wanted to have some fun. I got some advice right before I did this. It's funny, this is a universe thing. It's a God thing, because right before he hit me up, I'd got some advice to stop taking everything so seriously and go back to having fun, because I had fun, the most fun creating art when I created comic characters.
Yeah, I can
And
imagine.
wrote stories before them, and just go all in and nerd out and create a whole world of your own characters and have them interact. That's fun to me.
Yeah.
But no. So what I did is I went through massive sheets of paper. The first thing I did was figure out how I wanted the letters to flow, and it's easy to go on the computer and change your brush shape and the angle of your brush to get certain strokes, but I actually want to be able to do it for real. So a couple of days just practicing it on paper at first, and then after I got my letter forms down and my strokes down, what I wanted everything to look like, that's when I cleaned it up and made it more legible. I straightened out the lines. I took out a lot of detail. I actually simplified the letters a lot.
Yeah, I saw the
Jiu-Jitsu and train tracks, those two combo words look like, with the lines, like they're written on train tracks, which I like. You know, I don't know if people can.
That was the idea.
Yeah.
It was the idea to, once again, with the straight lines, especially with the downstrokes, that was the idea to kind of give it. I was actually going to put train tracks in it, below jiu-jitsu, and have them coming out like this. But throughout the conversation that we had, it just didn't go that way.
Yeah, it might look a little too.
It would have been
too on the nose.
Yeah.
Too much. But yeah, and then from there, it was just figuring out how the color. Once I got my letters down, how I wanted them to look, and made sure it was legible. It was just playing with colors until, you know, he said he wanted it psychedelic. So I tried. Usually when
Hey, don't tell people that, man.
That doesn't surprise me.
Don't tell
Does
people.
not surprise me. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine, okay?
Everything's fine.
Everybody's fine.
You know, but usually when people say that, I get the impression of a rainbow. So I tried to fit every color in the rainbow in that piece, and there is.
Yeah, I think it's super dope, man. It's when I first saw it, my first thoughts was this will make an awesome tattoo.
Yeah, that was the idea. Was it's not just a logo. He can use that for anything. Cause see, that's the reason why. That's the thing with logos and things like that. When I create ideas and sell them to people, right now I just charge a flat fee. I don't go for.
Yeah, then your clients, they own that piece of art you created.
Yeah, a lot
they
of people
can
don't.
sell it, use it, put it on anything.
And a lot of people don't realize what I'm doing when I do that. You know, it's just.
If that logo gets big,
Right.
Yeah, I lost out big. I
Yeah.
lost out big, you know, but at the same time, I look at it like this. If somebody like you, you know, you're not a big corporation, you're a normal guy. If we do business and my logo makes you big, or you get big using my logo, so be it.
but you ain't got to
Well, not
worry
just
about
that.
you ain't got to worry about that with me, because you know I'm gonna give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I understand that. But,
But
it's,
not just that. I mean, you're building more organic future business
It's
because
kinda-
there will be something else that's needed at some point.
it's kind of my way of helping people out.
That is probably one of the number one rules in business, right? Is you have to help other people be successful if you want success for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I could have been like, all right, Jeff, you know, X up front, and if you use this, you know, I'll come back in 6 months, and if you use this to sell any products, we'll settle up what you owe me for using it then. No, I mean, I could get down like that, but it's not usually that serious.
I mean, you can write a system where all of that's laid out up front. I used to work in a music store, and we sold a lot of instruments, and production of those instruments, marketing those instruments. We had a guy in California who made this specific, it's called a bajo quinto. It's for mariachi guitar players. And this particular person created these instruments so well, and we wanted to buy his product. And he was like, we were like, okay, well, like, we'll either give you this big number for the rights to the specs and everything, or you'll get this percentage off of anyone we sell. Mm-hmm. You know, and he went with just the flat figure. And that bajo quinto, all of those mariachi bands across America, because you know they're all in these Hispanic restaurants, and it blew up. You know, I mean, I remember I was working in the quality control, just like fixing all these things, and I had gone to this guy's house. You know, I was fortunate enough that the product manager convinced the CEO of this company to pay for me to go to California and learn how to fix these things with this guy, which was pretty cool.
Wow.
But he, you know, he was funny. He didn't even really care. He was just like, well, he was like super nice old guy, you know. He's like, I think I made a mistake on that one, you know. But he was still super cool with the product. Like even though he didn't like make out the way he wanted to, there was no ill will towards the company. He was just he was an old guy. It's like, I think at a certain age you realize money's such a fucking, like, nuisance, to think about.
It really is, and that's the reason why. That was kind of the point I was trying to make about that first meeting. That first meeting when we first met to get artwork done. At that point in time, I had the disposition of, I'm tired of the BS. This is either going to go good or it's going to go bad. I'm going to go in there and just lay it flat and see what he wants. If he knows what he wants, we can do business. If he's another one of these people playing around trying to use my head to pick out ideas, and no. I need somebody that knows what they want so I can go ahead, because it's not that I've just had bad experiences with people that truly don't know what they want. They're trying to use you to figure out what they want, and it's a very tiring process.
I mean, that's a super important thing that I want people to know and realize. I think it'll help artists get more business, because right now we do live in an age where people get their stuff stolen all the time online.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like if you're somebody who respects artists and you're somebody who wants to financially support and pay for those kinds of services, then you need to understand what it is that they're trying to do and where they're coming from. And I think, Dante, you're doing a good job of explaining that. This has been a really enjoyable conversation for me. If you guys like the show, if you guys like Dante and you want to look into some of the work he's done, or maybe you're interested in work, check out the Instagram link below, and you can also see his Facebook over here, and we'll also have it written in the information section as well. Anything else, James?
Only thing I got left is just want to say a big old fat happy 35th birthday to Mr. Jeffrey Floyd Spain Jr. over here. Today is his actual 35th birthday.
Happy birthday, Jeff.
Thank you, guys.
Glad
Thank you,
you made it.
everybody. Thanks, everybody who supports the show. Thanks, everybody who supports Dante and myself and other entrepreneurs who are trying to make it in this world, trying to do their thing and live their passion. Support the ones they love, okay? Fucking do it up.
Click the bell.
I'm gonna have
subscribe.
to bleep out and cut out a lot of my language in this video.
Support.
I was a little too comfortable with Dante today.
Hey, and I held my language back.
Thanks, guys.